Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we take a look at a verse from the fourth juz of the Quran Kareem, Surah Al-Imran. Allah says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. That all of you collectively hold on to the rope of Allah. Hold on to the rope of Allah. وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. And do not divide. Do not become divided. You know, the irony of the times that we live in as an ummah, on every issue, we are divided. On every issue, there is difference of opinion. On every issue, we're disagreeing with each other. But there's one thing on which we are united. What is that? The fact that we are disunited. The one thing on which we have an agreement, total agreement, is that we are disunited. Anywhere you go in the world, and every Muslim laments the fact that we are disunited, Subhanallah, how do we fix that? It's not impossible to fix. The Aus and Khazraj in Medina were constantly at each other's throats. They had a civil war before Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came. They were ready to obliterate each other. That's how nasty, that's how personal it was. But with the beauty of Islam, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made them brothers. They were ready to die for each other. Before they were ready to kill each other. Now they were ready to die for each other. So Allah reminded them, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ. Now hold on to the rope of Allah. Your faith binds you more than anything else. Your relationship in faith is higher than your relationship in blood. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. Now unity is a bounty from Allah. And the bounty of Allah comes to us proportionate to our level of obedience to Allah. So if people want to ask the question, right, and it's an obvious question to ask, that why are we so disunited? There are many reasons, but the most important reason is because we are disobedient to Allah. And when you are disobedient to Allah, Allah removes His bounties from you. And one of those bounties will be unity. Allah Himself says, وَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِهِمْ. It is Allah who united the hearts of Sahaba, which was the highest example of unity. لو أنفقت ما في الأرض جميعا ما ألفت بين قلوبهم. If you were to spend the equivalent of what the world contains to try and obtain unity, you won't be able to do it because it's a bounty that comes from Allah. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ أَلَّفَ بَيْنَهُم. Allah is the one who united them. So the first and the foundational thing to keep in mind when we want to achieve unity is that we must be obedient to Allah. The higher our level of obedience to Allah Ta'ala, the stronger our unity. That's why husband and wife can be very much in love. They can be very compatible. But when they disobey Allah, the marriage suffers. The marriage suffers. The hadith tells us, when you see that, hey, there's friction coming into your relationships with others, it's time to check the state of your relationship with Allah. Of course, even if your relationship is strong with Allah, at times there will be challenges, it'll come as a test. But if it's now overwhelming, if it's now beyond what is normal, time to check your relationship with Allah Ta'ala. And the more intimate your relationship, the quicker it will be affected if you are disobeying Allah Ta'ala. Hence I gave the example of marriage. So that's where we need to start. If we want to be a unified ummah, we need to become an obedient ummah. The second thing is this, that unity doesn't happen from the top down, it happens from the bottom up. It's not global leaders who will get their act together and who will unite us. No, we must unite in a marriage. When husband and wife are united, then the home is united. When families are united, then the societies are strong. So if you can't forgive your own spouse, you can't forgive your own parent, you can't forgive your own children, you can't forgive your own sibling, you can't forgive your own neighbor, you can't forgive the man standing next to you in the masjid, where, you know, congregation is supposed to be uniting our hearts, but we make the masjid a place where we become more disunited because we're fighting over petty things, or we're fighting over things which may be important, but in a manner that disunites us, then how will the ummah ever be united? We can sit on our couches and blame people elsewhere and blame global leaders, but unity will start with us. I must become an obedient servant of Allah, and I must forgive and overlook the shortcomings of others for the pleasure of Allah and for the unity of the ummah. That is how we will become united and fulfill the instruction of Allah here. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Have disagreements, yes. Have differences of opinions, yes. But have united hearts by holding on to the rope of Allah Ta'ala, and do not be divided. Because when you're divided, you'll be the biggest in number, like we are today. You will have the greatest of wealth. This ummah is bigger in number today than ever before, richer than ever before. But never in our history have we been so helpless and incapacitated. It's because of disunity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.